We are looking at issue 260 of Extra Factors now. This is another standalone story, and it focuses on two characters that I like. The Flash, who is one of my favourite Marvel characters, and Miss Magnets, who I will spend a lot of this video talking about. It is an issue after all. This is one of the most pointless recap pages ever. Even more so because there are parts of this issue which would have been nice to have some extra context for. But instead, it is a single generic sentence and then an indulgent paragraph talking about David Peter Gannon bowling. This was a thing I thought was worth doing on the previously on page. They would include jokes about what the writer had been doing since the last issue. Okay idea, I will admit it is a fine joke, but not at the expense of it being the only part of the recap page that is actually worked on every month. And the thing is, Miss Magnets is having trouble dealing with some stuff. She has gone on a bender. And when I say bender, I mean a drinking spree. She's not riding on top of a little gay fella. I would prefer to see that. But yeah, the problem here is I have no idea the specifics of what drove her to this. The recap page said one sentence about a story happening and the team scattering all over the globe after it. I didn't know what happened in that story. I didn't know why it was so important. And I didn't know what it did to Miss Magnets. I do know David Peter likes to go bowling, which is a bit of information that does not improve this story at all. Miss Magnets is a tragic character, but mainly on account of how she has been handled. David Peter is exempt from that. He is one of the few, maybe even the only, writer who has really done stuff with her. Every other writer, for years and years, every other person has only ever seen Miss Magnets as Pillock's girlfriend or Pillock's ex-girlfriend. That seems to be her currency as a character. She is perpetually linked as a trophy to another character. Either that or she gans evil again. I think her relationship with Pillock is terrible. It is toxic. But I admit a lot of that could be my strong dislike for Pillock as a character. But everything I have read that tries to make them seem like a good couple comes off as him wanting to own her as like a possession, or because he thinks it looks good for him to have a girlfriend. I think there is, and there should be, a lot more to explore with Miss Magnets away from the relationship with Pillock. She has very intense powers. She has interesting familial ties. She clearly has some mental health shit going on from the amount of times she has been brainwashed or controlled. She has been around in the Excellent Men books since the 60s, but she has never really had a single story focus on her after her introduction, which quickly gets linked to Pillock too, because he was introduced in the next story arc. I said David Peter was an exception. He was someone who did treat this character as something more. And he did, but he never gave us the ultimate Miss Magnet story. He built her up as a character a great deal, and he provided her plenty of personality and character arcs away from Pillock. But she never took centre stage and had her own major story the way David Peter did for Multiplication Man, or Squealy's Daughter Bangle, or So here, Miss Magnet is getting wasted, and she has wound up causing a scene. She has wrecked this bar, and she is causing all sorts of bedlam, which has drawn the attention of the police, as well as a member of the Avengers, half-brother, the Flash. Now, this is a relationship that is supremely unexplored. Miss Magnet and her connection to the Flash and Charlotte Witch. It remains one of the most stupidly overlooked aspects of Miss Magnet. This is something that, while again relying on other characters, at least it is something away from Pillock, and it is something that is hers. And I was happy to see some stuff with it done here. It is a single issue, so obviously nowhere near as much as I would like. And well, they end up fighting anyway. Miss Magnet is annoyed that the Flash is forgiven for all his crimes, all the dodgy, scummy shite that other writers have him do when they want to make the Flash evil. And Miss Magnet is drunk, so she lashes out at him. The surprising bit for me was how far she would go. She actually points a bunch of guns at the Flash and wants him to admit that he is a horrible person just like their dad. And the Flash gives a pretty good and in-character answer, but it's not admittance, so Miss Magnet shoots him. He has super speed, so he avoids the bullets, but very, very cool and interesting direction to go with this. Miss Magnet has always had that lethal edge to her, but I always took it to be from her going crazy so much. But I guess what David Peter is saying is that she is always capable of that, and when she is drunk, she loses her inhibitions, suppressing that side of her, and it comes to the surface more. I do like how neither of them win the fight. They both pass out at the same time. There is a suggestion that this might be David Peter writing off this potential sibling bond by having the Flash reject and not care about his half-sister anymore after she shot at him. I didn't know. It ends with a lead in to that rebooted Extra Factor series. The one with the lemon costumes. I'm not reading that. The outfits are too off-putting and ugly. And now the Flash is in that too. So David Peter likely follows up on much of this Miss Magnet's Flash stuff there. But the luminous costumes, they're repulsive. Quite an interesting issue here. I like both these characters, and I like David Peter writing both these characters. As the red banner at the bottom lets me know, this is during Marvel Now, which was my breaking point. I couldn't take it anymore. I stopped reading Marvel. Now, whenever I see those red banners, I dread reading the comic. So, I'm glad this one isn't terrible. I'll give it 7 thumbs up.